Swanchetan is asking her several questions about her journey, and we would be having a short discussion with her. Katara. These are some questions for you as a survivor, as a mother, as a crusader for justice. So, my first question to
attempt to rebuild myself. I think immediately after his death, I just got very, very busy with the case, and of course my husband wasn't well, so I was preoccupied all the time. And sometimes it was very difficult, and you almost felt you were going to crack up. And I think when you talk of rebuilding, that's the time when you sort of drew on all your internal strength, and you went on with it. And about rebuilding, yes, the only conscious effort I make is anytime I get into the why me or poor me kind of thing, then I pull myself out of it. I said, no, if I get into this, then nothing will happen. So to that extent, yes, I don't let myself be dragged into self-pity, or I don't, whenever there's a negative thought, I fight against it. I mean, sometimes it does, how will this happen? How will I get the finances? How will I get along? What am I going to do now? And of course the feeling, when you talk about rebuilding, the feeling that why can't life get back to being normal? That is the biggest thing, that it won't. Not when you're...
You did not allow yourself to become a victim. You allowed yourself to move ahead and channelize your energies, take yourself forward in a way which very few people have taken. So many people whom we find who in situation like yours become victims. Kya hoga karke, kuch nahi ho sakta, you can't fight the system, the people are so powerful. But they take an inspiration from your story where they say that you did not turn into a victim. So how is it that that message can be given to millions of people that don't turn a victim, fight the system? There is a possibility, there is justice, and you can win. So how can that be achieved in your opinion?
I think I did not let myself, or I try not to let myself become a victim, because I feel any kind of negative thinking takes away a lot from one's energy, and you need every bit of it. That was one thing. And also I think it helps it both ways. I mean, if you can think beyond yourself, because I think a lot of strength you speak about today is there because I had support from so many people. For example, when my husband passed away, I was at absolute low. And then it happened with this, the convicts, people convicted for my son's murder. Their father, he was taken in by a major political party. And then there was such a furor, media and I spoke and people spoke, that they had to throw him out after 4 days. And that was such a strong message. I mean, that was the first time I sort of realized that, okay, I lost my husband, I am alone. But I mean, I have so many people with me. So, that whole feeling that you are not alone. And then, of course, it was... I don't want this to happen to anyone else. I did this to happen to anyone else. I don't know if I'll be able to prevent it, but any little contribution I can make to people thinking twice before killing somebody. So I think you've got to put yourself, think of a bigger task for yourself. And then I think it will be much easier, because if you think that, because a lot of people did suggest then that you lost a child, why don't you just move on, just forget about it, you can't do anything with these things. And I thought that was terrible. As a mother, I just couldn't accept it. At a very personal level, because people even said that you've got another child, think of him, these people are bad people, they might do something to you, they might do something to him. And I said, as a mother, I can't sort of weigh between with a son who's alive and a son who's gone. I mean, for me it was almost like saying, okay, this guy is alive and he's been of use to me in my old age, and this one was gone, so in any case he's not of any use to me, so he's not important. I mean, it was as crass as that. So I said, no, this is not it, this is for so many other children who are there. Love and affection, especially from the young people, and they understood immediately. And even when they say media, I think there was a very nice relationship with the media, because a lot of people on the ground working for the media were young people, so they didn't ask me, as a lot of my peers did, कि ऐसे लोगों के संग जाने क्यों दिया बच्चे को, या बच्चा ऐसे लोगों के संग बैठेगा, he is friendly with such people, this is what you will expect. And why didn't you stop him? And these youngsters with the media, they understood that. I mean, a 24-year-old professional, responsible person, you don't stop him and push him and things like this. So, and even the young people all around, I mean, I really feel very touched when I go out and I have young people. Even my first decision to fight this, I think there was something spiritual about it, because when I saw my death, and I've said this at a lot of forums, when I saw my son's body, I mean, my reaction was a typical mother reaction. I just couldn't take it. I mean, I just felt my knee getting wobbly and jelly. And then I said, no, they have, because had I been lying there and my son standing there, he would have fought. And also that I don't want this to happen to anyone else's child. Now, this decision could not have been mine alone. I'm sure there was something divine in it. So I'm not a very deeply religious person per se, but I think that helped. And as I have felt more than once that maybe God had a bigger plan. Because my son, if I decided to lose him, he could have died in so many ways. I mean, he was in his final year of college when he had severe meningitis, and he emerged from that without a scratch. And he could have died of an accident, he could have died in so many other ways. But the way he has died, my pain would have been bad, whatever had happened to him. But the way he has died makes me think that maybe God has a purpose. And I think that thought helps. Because I mean, as a very
loneliest period for you during the trial. I mean, by lonely it means when your strength seems to be going on because you are up against overwhelming odds, knowing that the way our criminal justice system functions, nothing is in order, nothing seems to go all right. So it can really affect even the strongest, the most resilient person, and you have to fight back. So could you talk some of that?
Certainly, I mean, of course, personally, like I said, my husband's death was, the first 18 months was so difficult that maybe that acts as my strength now, because when I feel low, I look back and I say, no, that was worse, because this was coming to terms with an entirely new thing, losing a child, and also the legal system about which I understood nothing. I have made mistakes and I went by advice of some people whom I shouldn't have gone by. I would have liked it differently. For example, I would have liked to be present through all the people deposing, and I was told no, you can't, and now I know that I could have been there. And again, the fact that my husband was so very ill. So again, there was this whole medical system which I was handling, and a disease where that is another thing which I'd love to do.
It changes your entire philosophy of life at some point.
Yes, I think. I mean, I think I was in a very selected, protected environment. I mean, even as a police officer's daughter, I had never seen a police station. In fact, we were overprotected because possibly my father had seen the worst side of things. So, for example, I know we weren't allowed to go to a movie in the first week. There'll be a crowd there. We were not allowed to go to crowded places and all these kind of things. It was father was very, very protective about us as a child. And even otherwise, very cocoon kind of environment. I was working, but then it was like coming to work and going back and taking care of the kids. When people tell me that, no, because you're a working person, so you're bold, I just smiled. I said it wasn't like that at all. Because my husband was, in fact, he was very, very, very socially very active, and he was the social face of the family, and I was always the person who wanted to go home and be with the kids, sit at home, and like, do I also have to go out even for a social thing?
Okay.
And always, should I, like he...
For justice, people are no longer accepting that there can be a denial to them when their rights have been violated. That's the phenomenon we are seeing in India, and we hope that it grows, because that will make us a society which is just and fair. Were there times when you felt angry with the world for its insensitivity, dishonesty, hypocrisy in people during the whole process? Were there times like that? And one you just mentioned about the young persons who denied being close to your son because but were there times when you felt angry, when you felt...
Yes, I did. I mean, especially again, I don't want to bring names, but yes, there have been people who said that this is no responsibility, who said no, he was like our own son because he's worked with my son, and I knew your husband from university, this, that and the other, and don't you worry. And then after that, they went and favored the other people.
Important decisions that you made during your quest for justice?
I think the first decision was the most important. The next one, I think was, because that was the time I really got in, because initially the public prosecutor told me that I am not allowed to sit there because I'm a witness. So till I'm deposed, I can't be there, which was wrong. I couldn't stand there. I wasn't there for the earlier. So, but at a particular point of time, I decided that I have to be there. And after that, I continued to be there. This decision about calling back, because there was a lot of pressure on me from the next public prosecutor that there's no point because she's not going to speak in our favor, and why do you want to call her and stuff like that. I think that was very, very, I said let her come and speak against us, or let her depose in favor of her brothers. But I think that was very, very important. That made a lot of difference. I think there have been some very good people also, because initially the letters and stuff, IO,
People were affected by your grief and your quest for justice, and somewhere it became an issue not just for you but for the whole nation. So did you also feel that it was happening, and if so, why do you think it was happening?
No, I am still surprised at the people and across the length and breadth of the country. And it was the other gentleman sometime a year back who was from, he said, I'm from Libya, and I couldn't believe it. And he told me, and he just saw me at the ATM and he said, you Mrs. Katara, and what's happened in your case? And I said, how do you know about it? So he said, involvement. I think people have been able to identify, after my son was just a regular young person, they somehow or other have been able to identify with me and my son. Also, at some point of time, people are so fed up and they have been harmed by the typical criminal politician or the political criminal. At some point of time, they were their near ones.
There is nothing like murder of a loved one to look at yourself. This statement was made by a mother whose son died, was killed. So, do you think it's true? Do you think you reflect upon it?
I should think so, because you do think back in hindsight, because I don't know if it's a murder or a loss, because I have lost my husband as well, and one does tend to think back that what are the things one would have done differently had one known that just this much of time. Of course, I would have let my son do just what he wanted to do, rather than, as a typical parent that, you must study, you must this, that and the other. And I think that has changed. A lot of things I allow my younger one to do. Of course, now he's grown up, but even in this interim period. So there are certain things, and you also learn, I've learned how, I don't get so upset about little things happening in life which are not going according to my wish. Earlier, probably if something broke in the house, I'd sort of jump up and cow.
You have a message for offenders who think they are beyond the law and their families who think that they can buy anyone. This is something which is not just true of your case, but also with many others, where the general belief is that if offenders, their families are powerful, there is no justice. So.
And I think they are right in their thinking, because it is in our country one has money, and I'm saying our country because I don't know about the other countries, but you can drag a criminal case forever. It's not only that you bribe a person to let you out, but you can drag a criminal case forever, and that itself, I do meet people. I met a family who were kidnapped, and they were very grateful they're alive, and they said they fought the case for 10 years, and after that this lady told me her father's health didn't permit it, and so they just made a compromise outside court. And a lot of people have suggested that also. But so it is very difficult, it's not easy, but at the same time I like offenders to say that you never know, you might come up